Hello parents! Today we are going to talk about toys that grow with your child. So we're going to ideally make better investments in toys that have a longer life and better longevity in your home. These toys are going to evolve with your child as they grow and develop, and ideally keep your little one engaged for years. So the first one is this one, the shape sorter. So this one is a classic. Take this little shape. You could let a little baby play with this. Don't get little rinky-dinky baby toys when they could instead use an older toy, but use it as a baby at first, just to pinch and grab the shape. Then as they get older, we can start maybe working on colors. We can work on putting the shapes into the box. You can also find varying degrees of difficulty with shape sorters. You can find different colors as well. I think I would have gone with one with more primary colors. And honestly, you can just keep using it even as they get older. Maybe they're working on learning their shapes at school, and it's how many sides does this have? How many corners does it have? Overall, I feel like your little one can get quite a bit of use out of this item if you use it in a creative way. All right, the Galt pop-up toy. I have talked about this one before and I love it. I think it's got 4 major stages of use. So the first stage is actually pulling the pegs out. Your child just removes them and you have to kind of put them back in for them. And it's just, this is a very, very basic, very baby level, okay? Then over time, they're going to learn to put the pegs into the hole. So great, they're putting the pegs in. I thought the next step was putting the pegs in the proper color and learning those matching skills. My kids did not learn it in that order. They actually learned to put the peg in, push the peg down, and then it shoots out like a rocket. They learned that phase next. And then the final phase that they did with this was matching up the colors. And then if you want to take it to the next level, you can actually hold it in your hand, turn it sideways, and shoot them out and I don't know, try to knock down a target or something. So you can take it to level 5 if you really want to. Next would be crafts and coloring stuff. Now this one's geared towards a little bit of an older age. It's such a practical thing to get for your child because obviously you can do it at entry level, but as they grow up, they can grow and develop their crafting and their drawing, painting, coloring, all those skills, and it can become more advanced. So I don't think it's a bad thing to start early on building up your craft supplies. Another toy that grows with your child is a classic baby doll. Now, this could be for a little boy or a little girl because most children are going to grow up to be parents. I think that's very likely anyway. And even if they aren't parents, they might be an aunt or an uncle. I would recommend getting a baby doll for any child, honestly. I think it can teach them a lot about nurturing and caring for somebody outside of themselves. And of course, their level of care for their baby is going to grow as they grow. You know, a little kid, they don't know what they're doing, and then they start to try to feed the baby a bottle or change its diaper or this or that. And it's just an open-ended toy for imagination play. My next idea for a toy that grows with your child are silk scarves. Now, I have these scarves. They're not actually silk. They're probably polyester or something like that. The silk ones are a little more pricey, but if you are into natural materials, that might be the route you go. They are a sensory item. You can feel them, the textures or the colors, just sort of explore them. On younger kids, they might not even know what they're doing with them. They might just wave them around like flags or put them on the ground. The blue is the water, the yellow is the sand. Older kids can do them, and you can tie them. If you get ones that are big enough, they can tie around their waist or around their shoulders and be a cape. It could be a dress. You can do pretend play. They could put on a dance recital, dress up in general. It encourages movement, creativity, and just all sorts of play. Okay, very open-ended. And I will say with the silk scarves, they don't take up a lot of space in your home. They're not this massive item to store. Next would be a balance beam. So there's many, many options when it comes to a balance beam. You could do a legitimate balance beam. You could do these balance stones that can stack up and store a little better. And I would recommend if you do choose to get a balance beam, get one that'll fit under a bed for storage purposes. That would be my idea. Unless you have a very large home or a large basement play area, think about where you're going to store this item when it's not being used. And maybe you get it out from time to time. Maybe it's out for a week and then we put it away for 2 weeks. A balance beam, of course, is something that can grow with your child because at first they're not going to be very good at it. They might sit on it. They might barely be able to stand on it. And who knows, then they can walk across it, run across it, and maybe they get advanced and they can do a cartwheel on it. It's up to your child and their degree of interest, of course, and how much they push themselves to learn and grow with the item. Next would be magna-tiles. So magna-tiles are basically a form of blocks. They're the magnet ones. And you can start so simple. Your kids could play them flat on the floor and not even make 3-dimensional objects. Then they could make the 3-dimensional cubes and build a house. And then I have seen magna-tiles where you can find a video or tutorial online and it'll literally teach you how to make the coolest ramp for your Hot Wheels cars. And it's actually really neat and complex. You can also use them in a completely different way. You could line them up, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, and talk about patterns. You could talk about colors with your little one and sort them. So magna-tiles can be used for many different ways and many different age levels. Okay, the next item I want to share is the nugget blocks, or any brand of large foam type blocks. These are sometimes miniature couches. They can sometimes have like Velcro on them and stick together and just be transformed. These can be great for your baby when they're literally learning how to crawl, all the way up to being like 6, 7, 8 years old and they're building a fort. Okay, so these things, they can grow with your child, maybe get ideas again off YouTube or like Pinterest on how to use them in a new and fun way. Nugget blocks and other brands are going to be expensive. They're also large. This will not work for people that have a very tight and little home, potentially. If this fits your lifestyle, go for it. And if it doesn't, that's okay, of course. And the final item I want to share today is just a simple doodle board. We have these little doodle boards. We keep them in the car and our babies scribbled on them. And then now our toddler's practicing writing ABCs and numbers. And it's great. And as we get older, we're going to keep using them to write words, just drawing pictures and being abstract and artistic. These doodle boards can be used at any age for any reason. I even find myself sometimes enjoying doing a little doodle and would highly recommend them. Okay, so that is my quick list of amazing toys that I think grow with your child and have a decently long life and just longevity in your home. So which of these toys are your favorites? Which ones do you maybe disagree with? And what toys would you add to the list for other mamas who are looking for ideas of toys that their children are not going to quickly outgrow? Now, if this is a little bit too much on the toy department and maybe you're looking to go even more minimal and you're looking to have like a no toy Christmas or a non-toy Christmas, check out this next video coming up on the screen now. And if it is not on the screen, it will be linked in the description. Thanks so much. Have a great day.